Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear friends, our Polish colleague told about the challenges. My first challenge is to switch on my computer and to find my presentation. So I'm very sorry, you will see my presentation just on one screen because we could not solve the problem to switch on two computers, to two screens, my computer. So just a second. As I told, it's a real challenge. So I'm sorry, I didn't expect that it will be so. I'm very sorry, it's something really difficult, really wrong with. Now it will be okay. Something went wrong during the connection, but okay. Will it work?
Зараз виключено. Шутка.
So I'm very sorry once more for this problem. I had a bad feeling from this morning already, but as we are telling, if the starting is bad, the end will be good. I hope this will. So thank you very much once more for your patience. And first of all, I would like to tell that I'm very glad to have this opportunity to give a presentation to you today here. My presentation will be more technical. It will be more focused on the technical solution, data acquisition, data processing, data modeling. So when I planned my presentation, I planned to have 3 big parts. The first, the introduction of the company, of my company, Eurosense Group. It's not because I would like to make a big advertisement for the company. It's just to show what is our background. Then my intention was to give a complete overview on the newest sensors, image sensors, LiDAR sensors, and the complex sensor systems. In the third part of my presentation, I plan to give the overview on the image-based typical big projects, on the LiDAR-based typical projects, and I wanted to show some very special examples and applications. So in the image-based applications, I want to show the big typical European projects and the national projects. In the national projects, I planned to give a presentation, examples about the regular orthophoto projects in different countries, about the true ortho projects, about the 3D modeling of the cities, and about the mesh modeling. About the LiDAR, again, my intention was to give a short overview on the big European projects and the national projects. And I planned to give a short introduction about some very special projects. But just 2 or 3 days ago, I was informed that I have just 15 or 20 minutes maximum, 15. So I had to skip at least half of my presentation. The first I had to skip is the overview of the latest sensors, which is one of the favorite topic for me. But I see that you will get this information from Hexagon. Of course, not only the Hexagon producing these new sensors, but at least you will get it. So I had to skip this part of the presentation. Also, the mesh model, I will tell you later why, and about half of my project which I wanted to show you. So the presentation will be shorter, I hope. I will try to do it in a very fast way. So the first, the introduction of my company group, it's called Eurosense. What we do the data acquisition from different levels, from the satellites, from airborne, from the sea, and we do everything which is related to the photogrammetry, to hydrological surveying, topographic and thematic mapping, and we have a very strong GIS activity. So about the company group, the company group was established more than 55 years ago, so it's not a new company which can disappear in few years. So you see the countries where we have our companies, in 10 countries, 13 companies. So this is how we did start, and this is what we do now. So actually we have 4 specialized aircrafts. We have actually 4 digital cameras, 3 LiDAR sensors, other sensors like thermal sensor. So actually in the company group we have more than 150 skilled specialists. So that's for the company. Then technologies and projects, image-based projects. The European, it's not really a European-wide imagery project, but it's the regulation of the EU that each member state must produce at least in every 5 years the complete coverage of the country of the orthophoto for the Common Agriculture Policy, to do the farmer's declaration and to do the check of the farmer's declaration in each member states. So what is the result of that regulation? That since 1998, each member state has to update the orthophoto coverage of the country. At the beginning, it was half a meter resolution, 1.5 meter resolution. Actually, it's in most of the countries, it's 40, but it's more 25 and 20 centimeter resolution. So you see the evolution of this project. It means that for each member state, at least you have 40 or 25 centimeter coverage, not older than 3 years. That is just where we do this job since 1998. It's not only we do, in some countries only we do, in some other countries partly. So then few examples about the big national projects, image-based projects. I will not spend too much time on that. I did select one of the best example country. Maybe somebody has a different opinion, but according to my practice and opinion, the best practice is the Netherlands. Just a few examples that since 2003 they have regularly the clutter, the orthophoto and clutter database for the whole Netherlands. But what is more interesting and remarkable, that since 2008 they have yearly 10 centimeter coverage of the country, 10 centimeter ortho every year on the whole country. For most of the countries it's just a dream until now. So, but they did not stop on that, because actually since 2013 they have also the oblique imagery for the whole country. So every year. And actually, it's even more. Starting from this year, they do it with not only with the oblique, but also with the LiDAR. Hexagon was very happy because if I know well, the 3 city mapper will be used for that purpose this year. So this is, according to my opinion, one of the best example in our profession in Europe. So then, the true ortho projects. So I will not speak about what is the true ortho, but just 2 sentences. The normal ortho has a big disadvantage that even if we use the latest image sensor with long focal length, you will always, and the big overlaps, you will always have the building laning, and some parts behind of the building you will not see on the orthophoto. The true ortho, it's a special ortho where you have you can eliminate this building laning effect. A lot of different approaches actually, but according to my opinion, it's again my personal opinion. There is a true orthophoto and other orthophotos. So the true ortho, according to my opinion, which is produced based on the correct vector, 3D vector model of the buildings. And such true orthophoto we produced already in 2008 for the whole city Marseille, which is not a small village. It's a huge city. 5 minutes. So this is the part you see that is no building lanings at all. And the big advantage of that you have immediately, automatically, the 3D vector model of all the buildings. But okay, I will go further, because the most important part will start just now. What we can do instead of the very expensive through Ortho, we call it open street Ortho. So from the same imagery, we are producing two kinds of orthophotos, one the traditional one, and one mosaic in a special way to open the public areas. You see that here, for example, you don't see the roads, but here you can open. So for the city information system, you can provide two sets of orthophotos, and you can load two sets of orthos in the GIS of the city. So let's go further. The 3D models. So this is a part of Budapest. This is just a part because my computer, this kind of very detailed true ortho, the 3D vector model is made for the whole 70% of the city. So this is a topologically absolutely correct building model, and it's not only topologically correct, but also also object-oriented. So each building is a separate object. Another interesting example is a combining where we combined the aerial LiDAR imagery with the mobile mapping, mobile LiDAR data. And we are extracting the buildings, everything from all kind of data. And in the system, you can have, in the GIS system, you can have all this data together. Just an example here, that it's not only the nice visualization, because I hate just very bright, moving movies, nice images, but from the engineer practical point of view, if you don't have the object-oriented data behind of your nice presentation, then has no real technical value. So here you see that every building is a separate. Another example, very new one. The image is not very nice, but it's already textured. Just, it's no oblique. It's just a traditional 60-30% overlap nadir. And each building is a separate 3D object, topologically correct, in the database. And you see all the buildings. You see that it's a separate 3D object. And we put on the buildings also the solar potential of each room, and also the heat loss on all the roofs. I will not speak about the mesh models. LiDAR projects. It's again European-wide regulation to make a flood risk mapping for each member countries. Just what we did in Hungary. This is the typical project. The typical result of the project is the point cloud. Then it's a thin model already, the thin DTM, with all the objects, buildings, vegetation, and this is done for all rivers or areas which are endangered by floodings, which in Hungary it's nearly 30% of the whole territory of the country. Then the next one, it's again examples of the national projects, very, very nice. Again, the Netherlands, they do regularly Actually, they do already every 3 years a completely new LiDAR coverage of the country with 6-8 points per square meter. But we have a nice example in Poland also. You did start already second time to do the complete LiDAR coverage of the country, if I remember well. Is it right? So it's also a fantastic example for everybody. And the point density is 4 point for the rural area and 12 point for the cities. And it's already second time for the whole Poland. Fantastic. Slovakia also. They do now the complete coverage of the country practically with 15 points per square meter. So this is just a nice example what you can see under the vegetation. So this is the DSM from the LiDAR points, and this is the surface, the terrain below of the vegetation. So it's amazing that what you can see below the vegetation with the LiDAR. And now the last nice project I like very much, this new, I'm very sorry, Regal LiDAR system with in fact two scanners in one house with two different wavelengths, which gives very high point density and very interesting opportunity, because one LiDAR is a green LiDAR which is a little bit penetrating into the water. So in Slovakia, some examples, what you can see from 1,400 meter height, the point density 15 points. And then a very interesting possibility for the forestry, you can extract even the trees. So you see, this is the application, semi-automatic application. So for the forestry mapping and for the inventory, forestry inventory, it's very interesting solution. Then another one, which is the main advantage of this dual wavelength scanner, that you have a penetration into the water. We just finished the project for the Balaton Lake. So you see on the left side the part where we put the section. On the right side you see the section, the buildings, and then the water, and under the water you see the water level and underwater part. Of course, the depth is not too big. The water is not very clean, and the penetration is not more than 1.9 meter, but it's very nice. So even you have the if it would be more dark, you would see more. Under the water vegetation, you see the bottom of the lake. So, and then the last one, in Croatia, we are executing the project now also with this dual LiDAR. So you see the water level, underwater level, and of course everything what you can see with the normal LiDAR. It's very detailed. The resolution of the video is much less than the real resolution of the point cloud. So on the computer it's much better. But you see what you under the water. And in that project we do also the 3D extraction of the building. Again, object-oriented, which you can use directly in the complex GIS system. And the very last is just an example how you can go further. This is the part what I told that for 60-70% of Budapest we have this LOD2 plus, so it's more detailed than LOD2. And then we have for the whole Budapest the mobile mapping result, the images and the point cloud from the mobile mapping system. So we can combine it, and even we can combine it with the indoor LiDAR. So we are entering now into the hotel, and it's just a colorized point cloud, georeferenced with the precision of 2 centimeters. So this is where we have to go according to my opinion. So each detail you can extract from this point cloud. And it's quite easy to do. It's not really something which is scientific. No. This is already the everyday practice. So that's all. I'm very sorry for the problems I had at the beginning. Thank you.